At Barmore Pooley, glowing endorsements all around from GOP figures past and present for Vice President pick J.D. Vance. Former Speaker of the House of Representatives Newt Gingrich tells WTMJ.
I think he's really smart. I think he's 39, which is a great point to be the vice president. And I think that he will be an enormous help to Trump.
Gingrich says he has confidence in the ticket, but says a Republican win in November depends on people going out and voting. Fox News media contributor and founder of the Outkick, Clay Travis, believes the decision to pick Vance is a wise one.
The Midwest is theoretically going to decide the race, what's going to happen in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. JD, obviously, despite being an Ohio State grad, is probably going to be somewhat popular in the Big Ten states. I think he connects with a lot of people well there.
Vance introduced at Fiserv Forum as the VP nominee earlier this afternoon. Convention goers from New York to Texas telling WTMJ the attempted assassination of Donald Trump has changed the mood in Milwaukee.
I would say everything got much more serious. You know, that threat's always there in our minds, but when you see it's actually happened, it becomes much more real.
Britton Brooks is from Sherman, Texas. He's here in Milwaukee for the first time attending the Republican National Convention.
Of course, our family's called, said be extra careful. Everyone's very cautious. It's the topic of conversation at the hotels.
Anna Villa is originally from El Salvador, but now calls New York home. She drove from the Big Apple to Bruce City. Villa says the attempted assassination made her want to attend the RNC even more.
It was like a feeling right in my heart. I didn't know if it was anger. I felt like even more push to come.
Jessica Ty, WTMJ News.
While the overall Secret Service security plan for the RNC did not change after the attempted assassination, the shooting did impact others providing security at events related to the convention. Brian Doro is the president and CEO of Waukesha-based Secure Resources Unlimited. He tells Wisconsin's Midday News.
I can tell you within an hour of that situation, we were on calls and looking at every single event very meticulously, looking at the environmental factors around it, looking at where it is, and making a determination as to what possibly could be added, again, for that extra layer of security and that peace of mind.
Doro confirming they did beef up security for more than one event. Sports, traffic, and weather coming up next. Sighting Unlimited. WTMJ News time is 6:03.
This report is sponsored by Diamonds Direct. Your love, their passion.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts next weekend. For 3 days only, next Friday through Sunday, get 20% off. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale, too. 20% off starts next Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
When you have a stuffy nose, life can be a bit unpleasant. Some live every day with a stuffy nose, and that can make life downright miserable. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula with Advent, where we are committed to eliminating your nasal breathing problems with simple in-office procedures like balloon sinuplasty, which requires no surgical cuts, little to no downtime, and can have you breathing better in less than 30 minutes. At Advent, we understand your inability to breathe freely limits your quality of life. And that's why we continue to pioneer the most advanced in-office procedures that have made our practice a global destination for those seeking to live their highest quality of life. Visit AdventKnows.com to see if you're a candidate for the balloon sinuplasty procedure. Because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. No baseball this week. It is the All-Star break, so the Brewers have the entire week off. All eyes can be on the RNC, or you can catch the baseball festivities for the All-Star Game in Arlington, Texas. You can check out the Home Run Derby that'll start the festivities this evening. The Bucks are the only Wisconsin team playing this week. They are playing in the Summer League. They will take on the Clippers in Las Vegas on Tuesday. Taking a look at your roads now, it is your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Looks like things are mostly looking good. No major slowdowns or delays. It looks like things have kind of worked themselves out. Might be some people staying out of the downtown area as the RNC is in town. But if you are on the roads right now, things should be a smooth ride. Time for the WTMJ 5-day forecast. It's going to be some strong thunderstorms early tonight. We'll keep an eye on whether any of them end up being severe. Less humid overnight, a low of 67. Tuesday, partly cloudy, not as humid. Slight chance of afternoon showers and a high of 82. Wednesday, mostly sunny and pleasant, a high of 78. Mostly sunny skies send out the RNC on Thursday, a high of 75. Friday, mostly sunny, a high of 80. Right now in Madison, it is 86. In Green Bay, it's 85. In Waukesha, it's 83. And in Milwaukee, it is 82 degrees. I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 6:07.
The Republican National Convention is officially here in Milwaukee. This is Impact 2024. Inside the RNC, broadcasting live from Media Row. Here are your hosts, Dr. Ken Harris and John McCure.
We are inside UWM Panther Arena. It's 2024 Republican National Convention coverage on WTMJ and 101.7 The Truth. Dr. Ken, good to see you.
Good to see you again. I think we did this about 24 hours ago.
I think we did. We're going to do it every day this week.
That's right.
I'm excited to be joined by Congressman Derek Van Orden. We're excited to be joined, I should say, who is with us here at our mobile studio. Congressman, thank you so much for making some time for us.
You're absolutely welcome. I really appreciate you having me.
I want to start with a question about security, and I promise we're not going to dwell on this, but based on your expertise, Navy SEAL, your background, all of that, how stunned were you when you saw what happened on Saturday? And in how close proximity the shooter was and how things played out?
I was a Navy SEAL for a long period of time. I was in for 26 years. I retired as a senior chief. I have multiple combat tours around the world. What people don't know is that they declassified this mission in 2009, but during the first Iraqi elections, the top 6 Iraqi officials were protected by Navy SEAL platoons, and we were in civilian clothes. People thought we were contractors. I was responsible for protecting a guy named Ibrahim al-Jafri, who became the first democratically elected prime minister of the country. And we ran the security for them running an entire political campaign in a war zone with tens of thousands of people that wanted to kill him, and they had the weapons of war to do so. So I have a deep and abiding understanding of the failures that took place. That particular branch of the Secret Service, their sole mission in life is to make sure the President of the United States does not get shot. So when the President of the United States gets shot, you can affirmatively say they failed their mission. And to have an active shooter within 130 meters with a high-powered rifle of a former President of the United States and now the Republican nominee or Democrat nominee, doesn't matter, is absolutely unacceptable. So there were failures on multiple levels. I personally have implored the Speaker of the House to make sure that we have an independent commission. There's actually 4 committees of jurisdiction that could potentially be involved in finding out what happened. We have to figure out what happened. We have to figure out what happened now. And if we do Congress like Congress normally does itself, it'll never get done. So, yes, were there failures? Absolutely. On the broad scale, did these individual Secret Service agents that jumped up there and stuck themselves in between a gun and the President do their job admirably? Yes. Should they be commended? Yes. Should the command and control be chastised and probably getting some people unemployed real quick? Yes. All those can exist in the same universe.
All right. So my experience, I'm a retired lieutenant, Milwaukee Police.
Right on.
Major incident response team, crowd control, things of that nature. Yep. I thought it odd that there was no one on the building.
Correct.
And that would be the responsibility outside of the perimeter of local law enforcement.
That would have been what we would call at least the third ring of security.
Correct, third ring.
So you've got your inner guys, the principals. So I was the shift lead, meaning I was actually responsible for the whole picture.
Right.
The AIC is, they call him a body man in the Secret Service. That's the person that's right next to him. So those are the folks that are going to do what you saw when they jump on the dais.
Correct.
The president. The second layer of security should be more of your uniform Secret Service folks or local law enforcement people.
Uniform, long guns.
Long guns, the whole.
nature.
It could be National Guard guys, it could be active duty guys if you're overseas. And then the third ring of security, what we would use would be foreign national troops that are vetted.
Eyes and ears.
But they would be under the supervision of American troops. So what you do in that case is you should have had local law enforcement folks under the supervision of, at least in a cursory manner, of some Secret Service agent.
Right.
That's, or a Capitol Police officer, something along those lines. And once you do your initial area assessment and you identify a position that is an elevated shooting position within, certainly within 130 meters, there should have been someone stationed up there. That's not something you walk by and check every once in a while.
Correct.
You've got a man or woman up there with a gun and body armor looking for someone to come up. And if someone had been up there and that guy climbed a ladder or however he got up there with a long gun, they would have been eliminated immediately.
Yeah, that's just so close.
It is, but
it's absurd.
My biggest issue with the entire totality of all the circumstances that occurred, and I believe you'll agree with me, 94 seconds from first bullet to getting in the car is unacceptable. Complete and total failure.
How they got him off that dais and into the Beast, that's the nickname for the limo.
Right.
It's the Beast. I think that's going to be used as a training video for
what not to do.
Well, what to do and what not to do.
Correct.
Cover the body, cover the president with your body, and then move out.
Right.
And that's what should have happened in a more expedient manner.
Yes.
And that's just a fact. So people are saying all these things now, and there's a couple different potential reasons for this happening: complacency, incompetence, or conspiracy.
Well, a fourth one, fear, because we know how Donald Trump's personality can cause a person to pause.
I'm talking about in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
There's no way Donald Trump was like, I will yell at you if you put someone on that building so they can't shoot me with a rifle.
No. I mean, in terms of standing there and waving his fist and all that. My thing is, get hollered at later. You should have taken control of him
and moved him sooner.
What happened in Milwaukee with the president of the United States?
Teddy Roosevelt?
Teddy Roosevelt got shot.
Just down the street here.
And you know what he said? I would like everyone to understand that I just got shot and we're going to continue.
And he did. He gave a speech and then he got
Gave a great
treated.
speech and then he went to the hospital.
That is correct.
Hey, we've only got a couple minutes left with you, so I don't want the whole conversation to be about this. America Today is Googling J.D. Vance. And I do too. It's a great conversation.
Sure,
but America Today right now is Googling who J.D. Vance is.
Right.
Tell us what we need to know about Vance.
Here's what you need to know. J.D. Vance was born in really mean circumstances. I was born in abject rural poverty to a broken home. I was raised on food stamps. We had government cheese, subsidized lunches, everything. J.D. Vance lived that experience. I represent the 3rd Congressional District of the state of Wisconsin. It's an agrarian area, and we have a lot of people that are below the poverty line. We have a lot of people that are depend on these government programs as a handout. J.D. Vance walked that, and he understands that intuitively. And then he left home and he joined the Marine Corps as a young man. He served his country honorably, and then he got out. And then he found a wonderful woman. He got married and he had kids, and he got elected to the Senate. He is an embodiment of the American dream. He went from abject rural poverty to the highest levels of the government in a single generation. And the reason that I feel such a close bond to that is because I went from abject rural poverty to the highest levels of the government in a single generation. And I think those two are going to complement each other very, very well. President Trump has more executive experience. He sure as hell has got courage under fire. You just saw that.
Oh, yeah.
And I tell you what, for the first time, tens of millions of Americans saw Donald Trump for what we've been saying he has been forever. The first thing he did after he literally got shot in the head was to stand up and tell people to continue to fight. And that's not physically fight. That's to keep fighting for your freedoms. And I've had about 50 of my friends killed in training and combat since 9/11. And I've been in war zones all over. And you can't train to that. I wrote all the land warfare and special reconnaissance curriculum for Navy SEALs, all of them. And you can't train courage under fire like that. And that's what you saw. That was instinctive. And I pray if one thing that comes out of that is that people finally put aside all the stuff they've been hearing over the last 10 years about him and look at him with a new set of eyes and understand that we're having a hard time in the country right now. It's undeniable. We're closer to World War III than we've ever been in my lifetime. That's undeniable. And the United States and the world needs very strong leadership. But the first thing that you do and how you are an effective leader is that you unite your team and your people. And Donald Trump has been uniting people his whole life. And so I just want people to take it down a notch, look at what he's actually done, look at his legislative accomplishments and his policy, and understand he's a uniter, not a divider. And that's what this country needs now more than anything. Anything in my lifetime, we need to get together. And the first thing we should say to each other is, you are my fellow American citizen. You can put your Democrat, your Republican, your Independent, your Libertarian over here. Let's work together to make this a better country. And that's what Donald Trump's going to do.
He is U.S. Congressman Derek Van Orden. Thank you for your service.
You're welcome,
and
man.
thank you for talking to us.
America's awesome. Thanks for
It's always good to hang out with you. Thank you, Congressman.
Hey, great job voicing over.
Thank you.
That was fantastic.
I appreciate it.
Just watched that today.
All right.
Hey, if you guys don't support the Joseph Project, get out there and do it now.
Yeah, we've talked about that. Good project, good organization.
Unsolicited.
That's awesome. We're going to tape that and use that.
Do it. We'll see you.
Congressman, thank you very much. We'll catch up with you later in the week. It is 6:16 at WTMJ.
Gorgeous new roofs, showstopper siding, or classic brick and stonework. How about modern windows and regal doors that'll make your chin hit the floor? To a lot of people, having these things can really make them enjoy where they live. It makes them proud. But there's always one thing standing in the way. How do I make that happen? At Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, we have excellent financing options for most people in most situations. 12 months, no interest, no payments, and exceptional rates for long-term loans that will beat your bank with no additional fees or hidden costs. You can go to SemperfiRoofing.com to apply for your pre-approval today. We want to make any project affordable to almost any person, and we've gone out of our way to find partners that can help make it happen for you. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semperfi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semperfi.
Ask about our finance options.
Wow, Wayne, that is a beautiful window.
It sure is, Jeff. It really tackles energy efficiency.
Sure has a nice slide.
It's one of the best screenplays I've ever seen.
They're so easy to close. I'd say it's a grand slam.
If you guys keep making those dad jokes, you're going to be a real pain in my neck.
Oh, that's a good one. Did you hear about this one?
Get as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply on 7/31/2024.
Come visit, learn, and discover at the recently opened Food and Farm Exploration Center near Stevens Point in Plover, Wisconsin. The 50,000 square foot Science and Technology Center is a place to take the entire family. Experience over 60 interactive exhibits, a children's play area, demonstration farm fields, and home to the world's largest potato masher. The Food and Farm Exploration Center is a place for connecting with food and those who grow it. Just a short drive from Milwaukee. Plan your visit today at explorefoodandfarm.org.
You're listening to Impact 2024, inside the RNC on WTMJ.
I'm John Burke here. Dr. Ken Harris from 101.7 The Truth is here. This is fun because you and I do our show at the same time in the real world, and now we're literally sitting next to each other, and I could hear you when I was doing my stuff. I know you could hear us.
Yeah.
It's fun to be in here, isn't it? This
Yes,
is
it
the
is.
center of what everybody in America is talking about, and it's here in our city.
And it's also weird because you see other news agencies that you watch and you
Yes.
listen and you get information from, and to see those people walking past doing the exact same thing you're doing, trying to secure the interview, trying to talk to the media spokespeople, the communications director of all these different people. But what it really comes down to is what's going to happen November 6th.
Yep.
This is, and I think I said it last night, we knew we'd be here, but we didn't know we'd be here on the 48 hours after an assassination attempt of a presidential candidate.
Yeah, it's remarkable. It's remarkable. We spent a lot of time earlier today talking about security because that's what everybody was talking to because we all had to go through it to get here, but then in light of also what happened on Saturday. And it's a relief now that we sit here at 6:20 when the evening session is underway over down the street at Fiserv Forum. and security is not the primary thing that we're talking about. We're talking about J.D. Vance. We're talking about other things. Donald Trump Jr. is at an interview location next to us, and we're talking about those sort of things. You handled crowd control. You handled mass casualty events. You handled all that stuff in your previous lifetime, and you still consult on a lot of that. How big a deal is the security footprint that had to be put into place to make this safe for our city?
It's a very big deal. It will take each and every one of those 4,000 law enforcement officers from federal to local to be able to put in place something that is going to be consistent, something that doesn't offer a sense of foreboding, that big, tough guy versus we're just here to make sure you have a good, nice, pleasant convention. And so that's what we have here. Are there those people that are here? Are there those people that are capable of making sure what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania doesn't happen here? Absolutely yes. And so I think I have to give the Secret Service and local police, Chief Jeffrey Norman and Mayor Cavalier Johnson, kudos for being able to put together a seamless security trend so that you see the security, but you don't really notice the security, and that's where they should be. We should be talking about J.D. Vance right now.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, actually. I was just going to say. So let's take a break here, then we're going to come back and spend a good chunk of time talking about J.D. Vance, about today's announcement, about who he is, what this means for Donald Trump, what this means for Joe Biden. We'll talk J.D. Vance up next as our continuing coverage moves forward from UWM Panther Arena on WTMJ and 101.7 The Truth.
Vince Vitrano for Absolute Comfort, HVAC and Electrical, joined by Nicole, who along with her husband Brent owns the company. Nicole, why is now a good time to have you out looking at my air conditioner?
Because we want you to get to know us before you have an HVAC or electrical emergency. We will provide maintenance to your AC system so it's ready to operate efficiently on those warm spring days and hot summer nights.
And they are coming. Absolute Comfort, HVAC and Electrical, 262-664-9284, yourcomfortguys.com.
Moving Graves headquarters to downtown Milwaukee was the right decision for the future of our company. Hi, I'm John Kissinger, President and CEO of Grave, a full-service engineering, planning, and design firm. We wanted to be part of downtown's vibrancy. Our goal was to create a collaborative and innovative work environment that would attract the next generation of talent. I love working downtown, and so do my employees. Experience it for yourself. Go to MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
Hey, John Mercure here. CertaPro Painters are the best in the business. I know they did my house, and it looks fantastic. Worry-free. Start with a free estimate. It's CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here, interior or exterior for your home or your business. They're quick. They're easy. They're affordable. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. They're the real deal. I trust them at my house. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
When your car or truck needs service, you should take it to a specialist. I'm Jim Token, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee. At a member, new car dealers have factory-warranted parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians. Plus, their prices are as low or lower than independent shops, even on routine things like oil changes and tire service. Knowing all that, why would you ever consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Scheinkup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. 7474.
You're listening to Impact 2024 inside the RNC on WTMJ.
So here we are. It's night one of the convention. The primetime program is underway. It's not primetime yet, but that evening program has started. As a matter of fact, U.S. Senator Ron Johnson's talking right now. I'm John Mercure. Dr. Ken Harris is here. Ron Johnson inside Fiserv. The delegates, many of them coming back from dinner now, have begun to be in there. This afternoon, the big news inside Fiserv was that after being reported on Donald Trump's social media channels, it was confirmed in the convention hall that J.D. Vance, the junior senator from Ohio, will be the Republican nominee for vice president. He's a young guy. He's 39 years old.
Yeah, 39 years old, U.S. Marine, graduated from Ohio State, earned a Juris Doctor from Yale.
Go Buckeyes.
And and came to prominence because he wrote that 2016 memoir, Hillbilly Elegy.
And he's proud of that.
Which kind of became a film.
Yep, it did, for sure.
A New York Times bestseller. And so it's a rag to riches tale, but what's really encompassing it is his Appalachian values that, if you really look at, are values that are present in many large cities where people grow up in poverty and become successful in what they do. And now he's here, and now he is the vice presidential candidate for, the next election in November 6th. And so at some point we have to really take a deep dive at what is it about him? What is it that attracted him to Trump and Trump to him? Because that wasn't necessarily so about 2016.
He compared Trump to to Hitler. To Hitler.
Right. And so what had to happen?
I think age is a major factor here. I think that he's the first millennial, literally, to be on a major party ticket.
Okay.
The first millennial ever.
Okay.
He has children who are 7, 4, and 2.
Right.
That's young. That's very, very young. That's John F. Kennedy age children on a ticket.
He's very young.
He is. He's 39 years old. His wife is young.
Yeah.
I think
eligibility-wise, he's only 4 years over the
Isn't that remarkable?
Yeah.
So, we spent a lot of time talking about Joe Biden's age and whether he's frail and his failings and this and that and the other thing. Well, Donald Trump is not a lot younger. He's more vigorous and more vibrant, but he's also not a young guy. And I think this is a play on two fronts. I think it's an age play. Maybe this appeals to young people, although I'm not a big believer in the vice president really does much good in general.
That's true.
Doesn't make a big difference. But here's the other thing, and you brought this up. I think that this is a major signal that you can be somebody who doesn't like Donald Trump's character. You can be somebody who in the past has thought that he had a lot of shortcomings.
Right.
But look at me, J.D. Vance. I'm here to tell you that you can have all those things in your heart and in part of who you are, and you can find a way to come with me and move past that and realize that this is the best choice for the country. And I think this is, Donald Trump has a lot of people in my neighborhood where we sit around the fire. I hear from people routinely, I like a lot of his policy, but his character's so bad that I can't get past that.
Correct.
And I cannot vote for him. This is J.D. Vance saying, look, I called him Hitler, basically, but I can get past it because he's the better choice. And so I think that is a powerful signal if you're Donald Trump and you can have that guy in your corner now.
If Kamala Harris is now vice president, can get over all the information, all of the research she'd done, all of the evidence she had that now President Joseph Biden was racist,
yes,
but yet remove it
yes,
and become his vice presidential candidate.
You're right. That's a great example.
I think one thing that it shows growth, that there's still hope for America coming over the next 4 years or 6, or whoever becomes the president, that there's still hope only because there's growth.
He's only been a senator for 2 years.
Right, 2 years.
He had no prior political experience at all.
None.
And he caught Ohio by storm. They liked that he was young. They liked that he was fiery. They liked that he had a very young family. And Donald Trump undoubtedly hoping that he will catch fire in a bottle here. And you're right, his story, and Congressman Van Orden referred to this as also raised by his grandparents. Didn't really know his parents. Mm-hmm. He said the best thing that happened to him was that he was raised by his grandparents.
Yeah.
Grew up in the hills. Some weeks he said he didn't have shoes. Yeah. He didn't know if he was going to eat some days.
Yeah.
And to become the success that he's become, aside from policy, and that's a different discussion, he's got a pretty American story.
Very much so. And we have this thing, and it wasn't lost on me again, like, let's make America wealthy again. That's the theme for the day. Yeah. And so when you look at choosing someone who came literally from an area where he didn't know what wealth was. He didn't understand what wealth was, probably until he got to college. And even then, it was probably a little shaky because, hey, we're going to give you, you did great with your grades, and we're going to give you this nice scholarship. But then to have worked yourself and done so well that you got a law degree from Yale, where Yale is known that if you want to go into public service, you get a law degree from Yale. If you want to go into business, you get a law degree from Harvard.
Yep.
And he went to Yale. And so that speaks volumes from not even riches yet, but just rags to success, that he's able to do that.
This is a guy who may have thought wealth was defined, to your point, by I now get to have 2 slices of American cheese on my cheeseburger because I've made it, and that's wealth to me because he had nothing.
I think about when I grew up, in poverty in Chicago, on welfare with my mother and 2 older sisters, and to think of what my children literally take for granted. Like, I never would have thought that I would actually have enough money to send both my children to private school, K4 through high school. Like, the thought was like, well, you got to go to public school because you can't afford this and you can't do that. It's just normal. And to recognize that, blessings come along and steer you to that time and place and space where now he's standing next to Donald Trump, vice presidential candidate, and he can show the arc, right? We always talk about story arc. Where is it? Well, he's it. He's the arc. And other people should be able to respond. I can't imagine what this will do, and I guess I should ask you, what do you think this is going to do for the millennials in America that see that?
I think this is a millennial play. I think that we will see not only his successful wife on the campaign trail, but we will see his kids. Mm-hmm. Millennials that have kids that are toddlers that are running around trying to hold it together are going to be able to relate to this. I do still come back to, at the end of the day, I don't know how much weight the VP choice carries, but in a race that's projected to be very close, it could make a difference. It will matter to some people. I want to go back to something you said, which is so important. I love it when I hear you talk about your family. And the world we live in now, you and I are blessed, and we've earned it, but we're blessed. We have good careers. We're surrounded by good people. Michelle, my wife, and I have this discussion today, even still, and my girls are twins and they're 30. How do you make sure your kids understand that I grew up poor too, and I had nothing? I had 3 brothers, and we were in like 1,000-square-foot house with 1 bathroom, and Spam was a special treat.
Yep.
How do you make sure now that we've achieved success to make sure that our kids don't take it for granted? And I think about that all the time, from the gifts I give my kids to making sure that even though we planned and were able to afford their college education, that they had some skin in the game. Making sure that your kids don't take for granted what they have now.
Well, one of the things I did, me and my wife did, is we made sure Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, most of those holidays when everybody else was out doing things, we were somewhere serving breakfast, lunch, or dinner. We spent Christmas morning.
I love that.
Yeah, you got your Christmas stuff done, right? But now we got to go downtown because we got to go to the.
We're going to the rescue mission, or we're gonna
because it's that time of year, and our job is to serve the people. Because you've been blessed, it's time to bless someone else. And it always reminded them that 6 months worth of pay, and we're in line waiting for dinner. And so it allows people to understand, but by the grace of God go I, and J.D. Vance sees that now. You know, you're talking about a guy that's, 78, 79 years old, and then you're talking about a guy who's 39 years old. You know?
That's remarkable.
Almost 40 years his junior.
He's half his age.
Half his age.
He's literally half his age. Yeah. That's remarkable. All right, hey, let's do this. Let's take another break here. We will come back. It's continuing coverage of the RNC 2024 in Milwaukee. Dr. Ken Harris and John Mercure on WTMJ and 101.7 The Truth.
Fleet Farm has all the everyday essentials for your furry friends for less. This week, get a free $15 gift card when you spend $75 or more on Purina pet products. Stock up on favorites like Purina Dog Chow and Bacon Strips for the pups, Cat Chow and Friskies for your felines. Plus, you can order pet food online for convenient delivery right to your front door. Find deals on everything you need for your four-legged friends' everyday lives at Fleet Farm.
It's Heiser's Red, White, and Blue event. Service or upgrade your ride today with star-spangled discounts you deserve. Let our certified technicians get your current ride road trip ready for July festivities. Or work with our sales consultants to find the perfect new vehicle for all your summer destinations. Plus, enjoy our exclusive Safe and Sound program with every vehicle sale. See details and offers at Heiser.com and celebrate your independence today. At Heiser, today's your day.
See dealer for complete details.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Window. Do you know that we have over 8 different ways to install a replacement window? Most companies only have one. Not all homes are built the same, look the same, or even have the same old windows to remove. So how can you only have one way to install them? The answer is simple. It's quick and easy. Well, that's not us, and it will never be us. You can have peace of mind that the install we recommend is the one that will last a lifetime. If you want your windows installed only once and done right the first time, then call Abby today. And if somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl.
Hi, I'm Mike Yancey from Yancey & Associates. We're passionate about continuing on our mission to help more Wisconsin businesses create more success. If you have any questions about our insurance products or just want a second opinion about your insurance or employee benefits, I invite you to check out ANSI.com, or better yet, give us a call at Yancey & Associates. And let's have a conversation about your business and how we can help you secure, protect, and grow your version of the American dream.
Why trust Grandview Homes to buy your home? It's simple. We make the home selling process fast, easy, and stress-free, even if your home is less than perfect. No real estate agents, no repairs, no cleanouts needed. Leave the mess and the stress to us. At Grandview Homes, we live and work in your neighborhoods. Our reputation is built on 15 years treating sellers with the dignity and respect they deserve. Visit GrandviewHomes.com for your fair cash offer today. Grandview Homes, the fastest and easiest way to sell your home.
The 4 Gospels tell what Jesus began to do during his earthly ministry. The book of Acts tells what Jesus continued to do through his church and the work of his apostles. Dr. Michael Ziegler and his guests discuss the last 2 chapters of Acts and St. Paul's harrowing sea journey to Rome, and how God's grace enables us to face challenges with confidence. This week on The Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
In Heartland, you're going to find a focus on distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original artwork, along with tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. In Pewaukee, the focus is on kitchen, outdoor, and garden decor, and all of it is priced at 25 to 40% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value.
Design Exchange. You're listening to Impact 2024 inside the RNC on WTMJ.
John Mercure and Dr. Ken Harris, my friend, sitting here on Media Row. This is one of the magical things about this. This reminds me so much of covering a Super Bowl. Covered a couple Super Bowls, and it's a setup very similar to this. Vivek Ramaswamy, who went through the primary process, is just down the road from us here. It's the red carpet, actually, just down the stretch here. And Dr. Ken, you see these guys walking around all day long.
Oh, yeah.
It's just Don Trump Jr. just walked through here. Just came dancing through here. I mean, Vivek Ramaswamy, how you doing?
How are you?
Walking through here.
And so
got an entourage chasing them down.
It's interesting because I told you my tale of 2 hours trying to get in, right?
Yeah.
And as I'm sitting there, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, well, don't stop in the crosswalk because the cop's going to tell you to turn, and then you're going to be in queue. It'll take another 45 minutes to get to the place you check in at. And there's this guy walking across the street, and somebody walked in front of me, actually that guy, and he stands there and he turns around. You know how you're walking with grandma and grandma's walking too slow because they're on the and except it was somebody who on the phone. And we turn around, it's Vivek. Yep. He's trying to cross the street.
And it was him right there, and he's on the phone?
And he's talking, and he's turning around, and they're I could almost hear his thoughts, dude, will you hurry up? The light's about to change.
Yeah.
I'm like, does he realize there's 6 lanes of traffic about to turn green, and if the cop says go and the wrong car goes, you're done.
Yep, that's it. I mean, you're done.
And I went, that looks just like Vivek. And he turns around what? And I'm like, dude, get across
and
the
it
street.
was him.
And it was him.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is speaking right now at the convention. The list of speakers is out. So let me tell you my story getting in here really quick. So I got in a checkpoint. As law enforcement, you'll appreciate this. I get into a checkpoint, and it wasn't bad. I get under the little tent thing where every car pulls in. You go over a barrier, and you get in there, and then the barrier rises up 3 feet behind your car.
Right.
So I get in there. I pop the trunk. I open the back of my SUV up. Next thing I know, after I pop open the back of the SUV, I hear and there's a German Shepherd in my SUV in the back. He's brushing against me, so that kind of startled me, but okay. So I keep looking forward. Next thing I hear a boom, like a crash. It ends up that the car behind me, the guy wasn't paying attention. He smacked into the barricade that had stop and Secret Service all over it. Dr. Ken, I looked in the rearview mirror as I heard the crash, and law enforcement swarmed this guy's vehicle. It was like a swarm of bees on a beehive.
Oh, yeah.
I looked in the rearview mirror. I couldn't even see his vehicle. There were so many cops. So here's 100 cops at this checkpoint looking for something to do. Well, they found it because they were worried this guy they didn't know. Is he trying to break through the checkpoint? Was he
on his phone? Was he trying to,
Yeah, right. Yeah. Don't know because I couldn't see him. And then one big, burly, tattooed Homeland Security guy leans into my window, which is down. He looks at me and he goes, can I just thank you for not being the SOB that smashed into the barricade? That guy's day is over.
Right.
Needless to say, I'm sure he didn't get inside of here.
Because now we got to do a background check, and now we got to make sure that you didn't do it on purpose, or you were trying to misdirect us by something else. And now we have to alert all the other places and everywhere. It's because that's what happens. It's like a trickle down, right?
Yep.
We had one. And so now, now there's an attempt on the life of a presidential candidate. So now we have to make sure everywhere has the same thing. So now we got to tighten it on every single. Now consider this. God bless the man. Jimmy Carter's on his deathbed. He's been in hospice literally for what? A year?
Over a year.
But he's still receiving briefings from the Secret Service because he's a former president.
That's remarkable.
The oldest living, what is he, 99 or 100?
Yeah, 99.
The oldest living president.
And he's still getting
America.
his briefings.
He has to. He's the president.
That's how it goes.
Right?
And he's still got his Secret Service.
But yet, now you got to tighten security on Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
Because some knucklehead on a whim decides, I want to be like Mr. Crooks.
I want to be in history.
And now you got copycats.
I want to be infamous forever.
Yes.
You're right. So you can't dial back the security for Jimmy Carter. You got to increase it.
Ramp it up.
Because you can't have history made on your watch.
So
Not like that.
So now the Obama girls are going, hey, so why exactly can't we go to...
What do you mean I can't go to the beach?
But we're over 16, so we don't have... Yeah, but mom and dad do, and you're here with mom and dad, and I know you're over in New York, but guess what? You got to...
Yep, you're getting it too.
And so now they're all going through that, the Bushes, and it's just...
a trickle-down.
It's a trickle-down, and so... Better safe than sorry. Now, had we had Secret Service think that Saturday, but this was what?
Yep.
Number 28, 29, 30, 40 of event after event after event.
Yeah.
And nothing happened.
So does complacency set in? You want to say law enforcement is on it every single time. They take every event as serious as the other one. If you're in charge of security for a Donald Trump rally, maybe complacency is too strong a term, but this is my question for you.
Okay.
Does the planning get more lax, or because it becomes routine, is it easier for details to be neglected? Does that never happen? I know you all want to say that it never happens, but we're also all human. Do things change when you're doing event after event after event after event?
Yes, because the Inspector General of Homeland Security is going to take measures to look at everybody's background, who went to bed, when, what time, how many hours did you get to sleep, what did you do the day before, when you planned, who did the advance team, because that's really the person we need to discuss. Who did the advance on a place and then turned that over line of sight to local law enforcement when, in fact, you ready? Simply turn the stage a different way. Angle it, put up a billboard, and like there are multiple ways that you could have mitigated that, and it didn't happen.
So even if you didn't have more people available on that day, the advance team could have mitigated it by some of the things you just mentioned.
Correct.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Easy and simple. Just put something in between, because all you want to do is slow them down enough for you to react before they do.
I know you're saying you believe the director is getting too much heat.
Yeah.
Should someone lose their job over this?
Whoever was on that advance team, somebody should lose their job.
So whoever headed the advance team, at the very least, should be held accountable.
If they don't, they should be held accountable. Go for retraining. Maybe literally a month without pay because somebody got shot. But let's start taking a look at what's going on and how we're going to look at this moving forward, because the only place we have to go is up. And right now you're at rock bottom. They have now hit rock bottom because you almost lost your subject.
It's scary how close that was.
Yeah.
It's chilling to actually think about how close that was.
But think about the fact that it wasn't anything that Secret Service did. It's something Donald Trump did. He simply moved his head.
Right. Right.
It's not like the Secret Service said, "Hey, and we're going to stand in the way, and we're going to."
Or we see the guy, we're going to take him out. No, he moved his head.
Right. Somebody said, "Hey, we're supposed to put it here, but we got to put it over here so that he can see the PowerPoint," and the shot rang out. So.
Yeah. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break right now. We are monitoring what's happening inside Fiserv Forum. Right now there's a musical interlude. This is what they're doing throughout the evening. It's speaker, then music, then speaker, then music. That's kind of how it goes on for the next couple of hours. We've got the list of who's going to be speaking tonight. It's kind of interesting. Maybe we'll run through that. Dr. Ken Harris and John Merck here with you on 101.7 The Truth and 620 WTMJ. We'll be right back.
Celebrate 42 years of tradition at Milwaukee's original house party. Join us on Milwaukee's beautiful lakefront, July 26th, 27th, and 28th for authentic German food, music, beer, and dancing. Experience the excitement of the Glockenspiel, Dachshund-Derby, Culture Village, Mardi Gras Show, Trochenschau, Sheep's Head Tournament, and much more. For more information, tickets, and admission discounts, visit GermanFest.com. Don't miss the fun. See you at GermanFest.
As you age, you start noticing pain in your joints that didn't used to be there. But you don't have to live in pain.
When joint pain becomes a reality, schedule your free pain evaluation with Rejuvenex. We'll find where your pain lives and inject powerful, FDA-approved medicines that reduce inflammation and pain, while improving mobility in hips, shoulders, elbows, and knees, with some patients experiencing relief for greater than 2 years before repeating the process. While treatments like stem cells can cost close to $10,000 per joint, at Rejuvenex, the cost for your injection can be as low as $65, and almost all major insurance plans cover our treatments, so you may not have to pay anything at all. Call us now to schedule your free pain evaluation, because I'm pretty sure we can help you. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, where we can alleviate your pain and rejuvenate your life. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Hey, Wisconsin, Greg Matzik here for Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac, where the summer road trip sale continues. It's where to gear up, get more for your trade, and be ready for the journeys ahead in a new Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, or a GM-certified pre-owned model. Connect with Holiday for an impressive selection while you get in on the season's best offers. Whether it's low interest rate financing, generous cash back, or a comfortably low lease payment, now is a great time to explore all that's new, treat yourself to a test drive, and enjoy Holiday's genuine guest care and transparent, simplified buying approach. It is the stuff that makes fans of drivers from all over, and I'm one of them. You'll be in great hands with Team Holiday on your side. Proud and grateful to be Wisconsin's #1 Buick and GMC dealer. Accolades are per 2023 Buick and GMC Zone Sales Records. Find yours and discover the difference at Holiday Chevrolet, Buick and GMC, Highway 41 and 23 in Fond du Lac, and at holidaygm.com. It's worth the trip.
Hey Wisconsin, it's construction season and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones in your area. Check 511wi.gov or download the free 511 app to see current road work, closures, detours, and camera views on your route. Wherever your travels take you, know before you go with 511wi.gov. That's 511wi.gov. And remember, know before you go. Always park the phone while driving. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
You're listening to Impact 2024, inside the RNC on WTMJ.
John Mercure and Dr. Ken Harris with you. He's with The Truth. I'm with WTMJ. Thanks for hanging out with us. We are broadcasting live from our position in UWM Panther Arena on Media Row. So down the street here, literally, it's not that far away, is Fiserv Forum. This is the longest day for delegates of the 4 days. They got in there about 12 noon. Things started about 12:45. They will go until about 10 o'clock tonight. WTMJ's Julia Fellow is at Fiserv Forum, and she connected with former Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker just moments ago.
Well, we love it. He's from Wisconsin. I mean, he knows J.D. Vance. He's worked with him, so I think that's a further testament to what's going on. And we're proud of Ron Johnson. He's a leader.
Why do you think J.D. Vance is a good choice?
He's a Midwesterner, but more importantly, he's someone who gets the forgotten men and women. His family, as he wrote about in his book, they lived in poverty. They suffered from drug addiction. They made their way out. And I think for a lot of Americans, particularly those who've had to deal with overdose deaths the last year, they know we need someone who's going to fight for them. Donald Trump's going to do that, and now J.D. Vance is going to be a good part of that ticket.
What do you think about us being on a national stage like this?
Oh, it's huge. Not only for the delegates here, they're loving it. I hear people all throughout the arena today tell me how great it is. But on top of that, people watching and listening and viewing this on social media all around the world, they're loving it. People are talking great things about Wisconsin and particularly about Milwaukee. I always said Milwaukee doesn't have a bad reputation. We just don't have a reputation for a lot of people. Now we're on the map.
And also, Donald Trump almost assassinated. Your thoughts?
Well, obviously it was scary. I thought back as a kid, Ronald Reagan was nearly assassinated with an assassin's bullet going into him when I was just young. I was overwhelmed back then, but then he came back, and he felt like God's providence. It was divine providence to put him on the path to make monumental changes for this country and the world. And I think the same thing is going to be true with Donald Trump. This is a turning point for him, and I think it'll help not help, but I think it will be a turning point in the campaign, more importantly in his next term.
So that is former Governor Scott Walker with our Julia Fellow. She's over at Fiserv kind of collecting stuff. So the way this layout is, now most people are at Fiserv. The floor session's going. Prime time starts shortly here. The excitement of J.D. Vance, the anticipation that maybe Donald Trump makes an appearance over there. The other part of that is at the other end of this hard perimeter area is where we are, UW Panther Arena. So today, this was the area that was hopping.
Oh, yeah.
Where Fiserv was quiet, all the surrogates and all the celebrities and all the other people were wandering through here. It's going to be fascinating to watch the week play out.
Well, it makes no sense to stay at the Fiserv Forum when all the people who can bolster your career, push your agenda, where your surrogates can go and speak about your talking points are here at the Panther Arena.
That's right.
And so you get to see the Viveks and the folks walk through, and the Donald Trump Jr. And so you start to understand that it's not by accident, because at first I was like, well, they're putting everybody in the same room. Right, so everybody can come to you.
Absolutely.
It literally forces them to have to come to you.
Yep. And this really is, I think I mentioned this on this show. Sorry, the shows are blending together. It's just like the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And the Super Bowl is amazing. You would look up, and you would see Sugar Ray Leonard. You would see Joe Montana.
Yeah.
You would see. So at the Super Bowl, the last Super Bowl I covered, Sugar Ray Leonard was here. He had a big fight coming up. It was one of his comebacks. It was 2011. And so he was paraded through with an entourage, and everybody wanted to talk to Sugar Ray Leonard.
Right.
And he wouldn't talk to anybody. So he was off to the side. He was making a beeline, I think, for specific shows.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Accident Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage. I get that most home shoppers just go with their bank when it comes to getting pre-approved, but that's probably a mistake because banks have a lot of overhead, like branches, fancy headquarters, and layers of management. That means their closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 higher than AccuNet's for exactly the same rate. And that's not all. Bank pre-approval letters are usually weak and unconvincing, especially compared to AccuNet's rock-solid, fully verified pre-approval that provides a $2,000 guarantee to you and the seller. Our senior loan consultants will also look at every possible way to strengthen your offer and pre-approval in the eyes of that seller, especially if you're offering over the asking price. We even call the listing agent to reinforce what a great buyer you are. Banks don't do all that. Click on the blue button today at AccuNet.com and let our passionate mortgage pros help you win while you save a bunch of money too. That's ACCUNET.com.
What you need to know on your drive home. Wisconsin's Afternoon News with John McCure.
I just think it's a terrible thing and it's unethical. If you're in the position to interview the President of the United States, you need to ask him legitimate questions, not stuff that's provided.
And Julia Fellow.
To make clear, you do request it with this type of theme, or we're asking because the RNC is coming, or but you're not going to say
topics or themes.
You're not going to say my question too is that you're not doing
3 to 6 p.m. here on WTMJ.
Come visit, learn, and discover at the recently opened Food and Farm Exploration Center near Stevens Point in Plover, Wisconsin. The 50,000 square foot Science and Technology Center is a place to take the entire family. Experience over 60 interactive exhibits, a children's play area, demonstration farm fields, and home to the world's largest potato masher. The Food and Farm Exploration Center is a place for connecting with food and those who grow it. Just a short drive from Milwaukee. Plan your visit today at explorefoodandfarm.org.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Inspired Closets, something that can positively affect your mood, getting organized and clearing out the clutter. A well-rounded closet could be the most powerful room in your home. Inspired Closets can transform your closets or laundry room, your pantry, any space in your house. What separates Inspired Closets from the others? Their 3D design software and a culture that promises to build what you want and need. Call my friends Katie and Dan today, a wife-husband team ready to help. Inspired days start in Inspired Closets. InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
The Republican National Convention is officially here in Milwaukee. Keep it tuned here for the most in-depth coverage of every angle of the RNC. This is Decision Wisconsin, presented by Pasternak and Zergabel. We are your central hub for all things RNC. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 7 o'clock, it's 83 degrees. Strong thunderstorms early tonight, then becoming less humid overnight, a low of 67. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Wyatt Barmar-Pooley. Attendees of the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee reacting to the selection of J.D. Vance as the nominee for vice president. WTMJ's Sandy Max polled the crowd at Convention Fest between the Baird Center and Panther Arena for their thoughts on Vance.
It's not just about picking a VP, it's about picking the next president.
I am very confident in J.D. Vance. I think he's going to be probably one of the greatest vice presidents of all time. He's got a lot of energy. The young people love him.
I think that he brings just a different vibe to the ticket.
He's a great young guy. I think he's a future of the Republican Party.
Vance announced as the VP nominee at Fiserv Forum earlier this afternoon. Donald Trump now campaigning off an image taken immediately after the assassination attempt on the former president. It's a powerful picture that's getting a varied response around the RNC in downtown Milwaukee.
Blood on his face, fist in the air, Secret Service surrounding him. It's a picture of Donald Trump that's evoking extreme emotion. Britton Brooks traveled to Milwaukee from Texas.
That looks like a man that has taken a lot of hits and is still standing and still fighting strong. That's how I feel about it.
His thoughts are echoed by a Milwaukee business owner.
It makes me feel as though we've got someone that is truly a real patriot and that loves this country.
But others, like Appleton native Tyler Miller, look at the historic picture and feel this.
Irritated that he's getting points off of this.
Jessica Ty, WTMJ News.
While the overall Secret Service security plan for the RNC did not change after the assassination attempt, the shooting did impact others providing security at events related to the convention. Brian Doro is the president and CEO of Waukesha's Secure Resources Unlimited. He tells Wisconsin's Midday News.
I can tell you within an hour of that situation, we were on calls and looking at every single event very meticulously, looking at the environmental factors around it, looking at where it is, and making a determination as to what possibly could be added, again, for that extra layer of security and that peace of mind.
Doro confirming they did beef up security for more than one event. One local business is seeing RNC history happen right outside its doors. Drew Olson is the owner of Major Goolsby's in downtown Milwaukee. He says their location is a great place to be part of that history.
We are in the soft perimeter, so anybody can walk in, whether you are a visitor in town that is a delegate, that is not a delegate, whether you're credentialed, whether you're not credentialed, whether you live downtown and want to walk over and see what it's all about, you can get into Major Goolsby's.
Olson is confident that people attending the convention will be, quote, ready to party late into the evening after the day's official events are done. Sports, traffic, and weather coming up next. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News time is 7:03.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead. It's swimming season, or for some of us, golfing or gardening season, but you're not out there enjoying your favorite hobby because you're sidelined from arthritic joint pain. Bone-on-bone pain in your knees or hips, maybe. Here's what you do. You call QC Kinetics. There are exciting new cellular therapies that can get you the lasting relief you need. QC Kinetics is helping patients all the time. I'm talking cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. It's not sorcery, it's technology, and you don't need surgery. Call QC Kinetics. The local professionals at QC Kinetics in Greenfield and in Mequon are ready to help you. Here's the phone number, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
It was a sobering headline. Social Security to run short by 2035. A possible 17% reduction in benefits. At Annex Wealth Management, we feel that Social Security is only one leg of the retirement stool, but it provides needed balance. It's time to stress test your retirement plan and move forward with guidance from the fee-only fiduciaries at Annex. Do it for you, your family, your legacy. Investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning. It only takes a few minutes to get the ball rolling. Head to annexwealth.com. Click the Get Started button.
Uline is here for the hard workers.
for the ones rolling up their sleeves, working round the clock, and getting the job done. You're dedicated to doing what it takes to keep a business growing. Uline is dedicated to helping you make that happen. Working 7 days a week, staying fully stocked and ready to ship any of our 41,000 items the same day. Uline, your shipping and industrial supply specialists. Visit uline.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Home Run Derby at the All-Star Game in Texas is about to get underway in just a couple minutes. The Brewers will have the whole week off, although they will send two to the All-Star Game. The Bucks, the only Wisconsin team playing this week. They return to Summer League action against the Clippers in Las Vegas on Tuesday. Taking a look at your roads now, it is your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic, and it looks like we've got an incident on the ramp from James Lovell onto 794 westbound. This is right in the Mitchell interchange. It isn't exactly clear what the incident is, but it's definitely something to keep an eye out for. Looks like everything is pretty much holding steady. No major slowdowns or delays around Metro Milwaukee as we head into the evening. Now time for the WTMJ 5-day forecast. First, a communication from the National Weather Service coming in just during the break. A tornado watch is now in effect for 3 counties in southeast Wisconsin. This is Kenosha County, Racine County, and Walworth County. It lasts from now until 1 this morning, and we will keep you updated on any severe weather right here on WTMJ. Now the 5-day forecast. It's going to be those strong thunderstorms early tonight, then becoming less humid overnight, a low of 67. Tuesday, partly cloudy, not as humid, a slight chance of afternoon showers and a high of 82 degrees. Wednesday, mostly sunny and pleasant, a high of 78. Thursday, mostly sunny, a high of 75. Friday, mostly sunny skies continue with a high of 80. Right now in Madison, it is 85. In Green Bay, it's 85. In Waukesha, it's 84. And in Milwaukee, it is 83 degrees. I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley, citing Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 7:07.
The Republican National Convention is officially here in Milwaukee. This is Impact 2024. Inside the RNC, broadcasting live from Media Row. Here are your hosts, Dr. Ken Harris and John McCure.
We're working on getting back in touch with John Mercure and Dr. Ken Harris over at Panther Arena. For now, I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley in the WTMJ Breaking News Center, and I'll be taking you to, as soon as we get our hosts back, a quick recap of what we've been following this evening in the RNC. Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson speaking earlier this evening on the main stage at Fiserv Forum. He was one of the first speakers to take the stage in the evening section of the programming. He was touting Wisconsin's history as where the Republican Party was founded before advancing firm support of President Donald Trump's agenda as in the party platform that is being adopted here at the convention. Senator Johnson, one of just many speakers tonight. Marjorie Taylor Greene, the representative from Georgia, also taking the stage earlier she was firing up the crowd a little bit. We've also heard from, you've heard on our airwaves in our newscast, the reaction to J.D. Vance from former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich. We've also had the First Lady of Ohio, the state where J.D. Vance is from, Fran DeWine, wife of Governor DeWine there. We've heard that there was rumors floating around about J.D. Vance for days, and it sounds like a lot of people are excited. You heard WTMJ's Sandy Max has been out at Convention Fest, the alley between the Baird Center and the Panther Arena, where we are broadcasting from at Media Row, and that is set up for Convention Fest, which is it's almost like a state fair. Row of booths, local businesses, food, drinks, fun, all that kind of stuff for the attendees of the convention in the hard zone. WTMJ's Sandy Max was there, and we heard from a lot of people about J.D. Vance, and it was pretty much all good, all in favor. I think we've managed to get our host back on the line, though. Is that what it looks like?
Hey, Wyatt. No, we don't have them on right now. I'm still working on that right now. But what we do have is John was able to sit down with Mike Lindell, the MyPillow CEO, inventor, whatever you want to call him. We do have that interview that we could play right now if that works for you.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Mike Lindell, obviously a major figure in the Trump campaign, especially post-2020, and it's always good to hear from somebody close to the former president himself. So, yeah, let's hear. This will be John Mercure talking to MyPillow's Mike Lindell, who was holding court earlier today at the RNC.
Did what happened on Saturday change the tone of what's likely to happen in the coming weeks and months in this campaign?
No, I don't believe so. I believe that what it did is it's uniting more of the people. They see, we were given grace. I look at it from a this is a spiritual battle of evil and good, and I believe that God gave us more grace there and said, everybody. This is a miracle. There's miracles that are happening all around us, and more people are coming to our Lord Jesus Christ. It's the biggest revival in history, and I believe with the campaign, I believe all that did was, more and more people, that coming in. I believe it's 70%. I believe this country. I mean, that's. I'd like to say, well, our real president should just stay in Mar-a-Lago now and not leave there. But you know what? He's courageous. He's not going to do that. He's not going to let this, horrific thing, the devil, stop him. And he's going to be out there and better than ever. I'm looking forward to what he has to say, but his courage is just it's the biggest courageous man I've ever met.
Secret Service told me today they're worried about how hot the rhetoric is, and that maybe led to what happened in Pennsylvania. Now there are protesters marching around here today. Is the rhetoric too hot?
Yeah, I haven't seen any protesters. I was just outside all over Milwaukee. And I know Milwaukee. I go back in the day when I was a crack addict. In my book, there's a lot of stories about Milwaukee here. But no, I didn't see any protesters out there, and I don't know what they would be protesting. I think if anything, that would be, it's kind of flipped where they were the minority before. Now they're really going to be the minority. You go on social media and you don't see too much stuff. You got people, and even the late night talk show host, Bill Maher, actually, talked good about Donald Trump, and so I think, it's like, hey, we need to back off on this, these attacks where it's, you go back not even 10 years, or go back to a 416, and you can sit at tables and talk politics, Well, I learned very much myself. I raised my hand and said, hey, I'm going to back this great man, Donald Trump, in 2016, and I was attacked like no other. I mean, it was like my company, the biggest attack company in history. They took us from an A+ to an F at MyPillow with the Better Business Bureau, and we were up for their highest award. This started back then, and where I was the media's darling, and all of a sudden the media's they're hating me and attacking me and going, he was a drug, he used drugs. Well, I already told everybody I did that, It's like, really? Is that a newsflash? Give me a break,
So you had rough times here in Milwaukee, but you also had good times in Milwaukee. Tell me about your key memories of our city.
Yeah, in Milwaukee here, I had a great. I was here with, I believe it was your Democrat mayor then. Is he still a Democrat mayor?
Yeah.
And we were, it was a big event here, and this is about, maybe 17 or 18. And that was a great memory. And I had all these Democrats sitting next to me up on the thing there. And I told my story about here in Milwaukee back when I used to be a crack addict and the miracles of me even getting out of that here. And then the other great things here in Milwaukee. And, I'm from Minnesota, but I still spend a lot of time in Wisconsin here. But it was great because we were all talking on the stage, getting along. And it was just, it was an amazing thing. I'm going, I didn't, you got to realize back then I had never voted. I didn't know a Democrat from a Republican. I didn't know a filibuster from a milibuster. But it was just fun talking as people and talking about the different things to, what can help I was talking to them about my addiction platform, the LindellRecoveryNetwork.org. It's free to addicts. And so we were talking about that and the different treatment centers and how Teen Challenge and Salvation Armies work, but secular centers don't. And so talking to your leaders here in the city. And it was interesting, interesting conversations up there, and it was funny because they go, wow, there was whoever they were, there was like 3 or 4 of them, and they say they never stayed for anything, but we were so engaged in our conversation. That was a great memory for me.
So the nominee was almost killed by a high-powered rifle. Will there be any movement on the right to have discussions about rifles that are available to Americans of that nature?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think we need to get down to how it happened, why it happened. I mean, it's nothing to do with a gun. I mean, that they be, whether it's high-powered, non-powered, I mean, that's an old argument. This argument here is why was this, how far that building was, how did this happen? That's got to be dug into, because I went to over probably 150 rallies, and I was always impressed how safe they are. I look around for these things, and that one there did not look too safe. The setup, and
he was awfully close.
Yeah, he was close, and there's something wrong with that. So.
And finally, what are you most looking forward to this week in Milwaukee?
I'm looking forward to getting our word out about the LindellPlan.com. Lindell Plan, we have a new plan where people should request all over the country their mail-in ballots, and we secure them. And when you vote on the day of, at least then when they say you've already voted, you can say, no, I haven't, and you pull it out. We have the whole plan laid out at LindellPlan.com, and this kind of combines everything where people are arguing, should you vote early, late, whatever, and all these things. And I'm looking for the president coming out of this and uniting the country and so on. I'm just looking forward to getting. I think this is the big push. I think we've got plenty of votes there. I mean, it's going to be overwhelming. I think this may made it more, but people got to realize this doesn't end with Donald Trump getting elected. We have to secure our election. We have to get to paper ballots hand counted. We have the worst election platforms in the world. There's nothing worse than the United States. I know this. I've spent 3 years, 18 hours a day digging into this. And you just had a great election in the UK with no machines. And there's many countries that have outlawed the computers. There's many countries that have outlawed early voting. But there's none that does it all like we do. Everything is cheat.
He's the founder of MyPillow, Mike Lindell. Mike, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I heard something I did not think I would hear this whole week at the convention. In an interview with me, a guy says, yeah, my years in Milwaukee was when I was at the height of my crack addiction.
Yeah.
He told me that 3 times. I said, well, I'm sure you had good times in Milwaukee. He said, well, I got clean in Milwaukee. But Mike Lindell talking about his crack addiction and the years he spent in Milwaukee.
How memorable.
You probably almost ran into him.
You probably
crossed paths.
I might have arrested him.
Yeah, you probably did.
Yeah.
You probably did. Hey, it's 7:16 at WTMJ. We're going to take a break right now. We're going to get you the list of the speakers that are scheduled for the rest of the night because it's kind of interesting. Right now, as we sit here, it is Katie Britt. She's the senator from Alabama. She is up on the podium. It is 7:15 at WTMJ and 101.7 The Truth.
There's a reason why we install Armstrong Air Pro Series systems. When your reputation is on the line, you pick the brand you can trust. It's like our employees. You pick the best to preserve your good name. A guy like me that's been working on furnaces and AC systems for over half my life. I got an eye for the good stuff. And Armstrong Air Pro Series systems fit the bill. This is Anthony Zanevsky with Quality Heating. When you need a good crew installing a system you can rely on, see the man in the red van.
Quality Heating, Quality Heating.
Emergency service 24/7. Quality Heating has 25 trucks ready to work around the clock to get out there quickly to solve your heating or AC problem. So when that system goes on the fritz and you want to avoid that sweaty summer heat or bypass the fear of frozen feet, the man in the red van can't be beat when it comes to prompt, reliable service. Call Quality Heating for any emergency HVAC need.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality Heating, Quality Heating.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
You're listening to Impact 2024, inside the RNC on WTMJ.
I'm John Mercure. Dr. Ken Harris from The Truth is here. I want to get you a weather note. It's going to get ugly here later tonight, likely. There is a tornado watch that has been issued for Kenosha, Racine, and Walworth counties. It goes until 1 a.m. Tornado watch in effect until 1 a.m. for those three counties, Kenosha, Racine, and Jefferson counties. A severe thunderstorm watch has been issued for Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Jefferson counties. That goes until 11 p.m. That severe thunderstorm watch for Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Jefferson counties goes until 11 p.m. Keep it here at WTMJ. We will make sure that we keep you in the loop. We keep you safe. Just be careful out there if you're going to be traveling about. Speakers tonight. So right now, Katie Britt is speaking. I think she gave the rebuttal at the State of the Union address this year and was panned. It was a rough speech. She's up there now. Dr. Ken, here are the other people scheduled to talk yet this evening. Senator Tim Scott from South Carolina, Governor Glenn Youngkin from Virginia, the CEO of Goya Foods, Kristi Noem, the governor of South Dakota, will speak. She, of course, was a rising star and spoke of as a potential candidate for VP, and then she wrote that book where she talked about shooting her dog.
Right.
And her star has kind of gone away a little bit. 8 o'clock, they're doing this Everyday American series where we're hearing from everyday Americans. One of those will speak. Representative Byron Donalds of Florida will speak. David Sachs, the former CEO of Yammer. I don't know what that is. You're more hip than me. What is Yammer?
No idea. And I think you're younger than me, so.
I'm younger, but you're hipper. What is that? It's a chat system? Our news director, Tiff, is telling us it's a chat system. Okay. I don't even know what that is. Vanessa Farah, an Everyday American, will speak. At the 8:30 hour, it's a Senator Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee, a couple more Everyday Americans. 9 o'clock, Amber Rose is going to speak. She is a rapper, model, influencer. She was Kanye West's girlfriend.
For a time, yeah.
Yep, so she's going to speak at 9 o'clock, and then 9:30 it wraps up with Sean O'Brien. So here's what's interesting. As you look at the schedule, every half hour they have 4 or 5 people scheduled.
Right.
Except 9 o'clock. They only have 2, and between 9:30 and 10,
1.
They have 1. The buzz going around here has been that there's the chance that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance make an appearance and speak tonight at the convention. They've definitely left some room in here.
Oh, yeah. There is definitely room. And some of these people you would want to have Donald Trump and J.D. Vance follow them because they're not, I hate to say it, but they're not the heavy hitters. They're not the governors.
Right.
They're not the chairmen. They're not the senators. They're
everyday Americans.
Everyday Americans. So
this is another almost miraculous thing that's happening. They're ahead of schedule over in Fiserv Forum. Tim Scott was scheduled to speak at 7:30, and it's 7:22, and he's at the podium.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell is going on? They must think they're on East Coast time.
It's time to
They're
go home.
early.
It's time to go home.
So, yeah, it is. Recapping the weather situation for you before we head into this next break. There is a tornado watch that is in effect for Kenosha, Racine, and Walworth counties until 1 a.m. There is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Jefferson counties. That goes until 11. It's going to rain for sure. Hopefully it's not severe, but in downtown it is going to rain about the time that people are leaving the convention.
And there's a moderate risk for severe weather tonight. Hurricane force winds, tornadoes, hail, and heavy rain are possible. So that's not something to take lightly. You're in Milwaukee, and if you're leaving the RNC, you're going to need to take an expressway somewhere, which means possible flooding, possible visibility issues, lightning, storm, rain sideways instead of straight down, all those things. I think last night, they clocked it at about 80 miles an hour.
That's crazy.
So
that's a lot.
It's something that you have to be aware of.
We will help keep you safe. Keep it here on WTMJ. Download the WTMJ mobile app. That's a great way to keep in touch with things. You can get the alerts and all that stuff. That's what I do. That's how I stay in touch. It is 7:23 at WTMJ and 101.7 The Truth.
Well, if you need flagstone for your new natural patio, Erickson's is the place to find it. We have the largest selection and 15 styles to choose from. And for decorative stone, Erickson's is your best choice. Our decorative stone is trucked in from all over the country. We buy straight from the quarry and cut out the middleman to keep your prices nice and low. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. So he said to me, boy, oh boy, do you got the boulders. And I said, you betcha. And he said, do you mind if I cherry pick? And I said, feel free. They're all beautiful and they're all granite. Sparkling pinks, blues, and grays from 4 to 36 inches. And they're all priced right. Because we buy direct from the source nationwide to give you the look you want. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
For your next exterior remodeling project, we know you're not asking a lot from us. You want the right products for your situation, you want a few different financing options that can make your project affordable, and you want us to do a good job with minimal disruption to your life. And this one's important. You want a warranty that matters. And we know that checking every box makes all the difference. You might be surprised at how many moving parts go into it, but we have just the right people in all the right places to pull that off every day and make it look easy. The company we have took us 21 years to build. It's an awesome place to work because we never stop improving it. And we think we can do this work so well that we can actually change the reputation of exterior remodelers long term. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Ask about our finance options.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Nagging pain lasting for months, difficulty performing everyday tasks, not moving like you'd like, it's time to see the doctor. And I recommend Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Anytime I've needed care, the appointments are timely, no waiting weeks to be seen, and no pressure to have surgery. It's about getting the right diagnosis and choosing a treatment plan that fits your life. No question where I turn if I'm injured again. The experts in care at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It's orthowisconsin.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Loyal Family Renovations and Abbey Windows. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ. You're listening to Impact 2024, inside the RNC on WTMJ.
I love this. I'm hanging out with Dr. Ken Harris, 1017 The Truth. I'm John Mercure. Thanks for spending some time with us, especially before we head into prime time on TV. You can hang out with us. We appreciate that. We've got you covered all week long. You only have to do two hours of radio a day. What's up with that?
Really?
How come you do 2 hours of radio a day? My boss is sitting right here. I got to do 3 hours a day. You do 2.
Yeah, but he has me working on Sunday nights when you're not.
Plus, I have the wrong attitude. I get to do 3 hours of radio a day, is what we need to say. I'm going to come on that show on Sunday night.
Please do.
You and Denise have an incredible energy, and when you and I and Denise did the show yesterday, I didn't want to leave. It's fun to listen to you guys.
Then it would have been full. Eric Bilstead dropped through. Steve Scafidi hung out. It would have been great.
You guys keep it real. Like you hold you check each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty good because you're very smart, and she's very feisty, and you're kind of feisty. It's fun to listen to.
But I gotta
guys.
hold it back.
I know you do. I feel it.
All the guys attack me because I'm attacking her when I'm not, and all the women attack me for attacking her because she's a woman. So it's like
you can't win.
I figured out being in a house with a wife and 2 daughters, I'm never going to win. So I just don't bother.
Yep, you and I have that in common, man. That is a lot of estrogen in my house. How old are your girls?
32 and 28.
Dang, mine are 30. So we're very similar.
But you know who I blame?
Who?
Mike Spaulding.
Why do you blame Mike Spaulding?
Just because. I mean, at this point...
because he doesn't have a microphone and can't defend himself. He's sitting right here, buddy.
Exactly. Anything wrong with your kids? It's Mike Spaulding.
That's right.
Working on Sunday night? Mike Spaulding.
Mike Spaulding. My car has an issue? Mike Spaulding.
Yeah. We won't even start about the news director. So
No. The news director's here, too, and she doesn't have a headset either.
But it's one of those things where you have good Karma Brands, and you're here, and you see where, teammate actually comes to play a part in getting everything done.
Yep.
You know, and sharing back and forth and talking. And last night, I mean, Saturday night was just incredible. I listened to you guys, and it was just incredible because you're working at a time with literally the only thing you have is what you saw on a video. It's two-dimensional, and you still don't know what happened.
Yeah, the amazing thing about that for me was that we all started getting the notifications that it was believed the president had been shot.
Right.
And everybody at TMJ just came in.
Yeah.
It was a Saturday, and it was the last chance for us to catch our breath before this big week.
Yep.
And I looked up, and Scafidi and Vince Vetrano and Greg Matzik and Julia Fellow and all of our managers, reporters, our content and digital people, everybody was there.
Absolutely.
And to your point about being a teammate, it was remarkable. It's humbling and cool when you realize that that's the kind of place that it is.
And
cool.
the weird part about it was then after that, you know, I send Mike Spalding a note and say, hey, just so you know, I want to have Steve Scafidi and such and such. He's like, nope, John will be on the first hour, Steve, and it just evolved, and that's the way I remember it when I used to work at WGN. That old school, one thing happened and everybody converged and just did what they needed to do versus what they usually do. Well, I'm not in charge and I'm usually anchoring, and nobody really cared about that. Everybody cared about making sure everyone was informed about an instance that could literally change the American landscape.
You're right. And when the big stuff's happening, I want to be here. Our teams want to be here. I can't imagine having a job where the boss says, hey, can you help with this? And you go, oh, God, do I really have to go into work that day? I mean, that would be such a terrible feeling.
Go walk the dog. I mean, I got stuff to do.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And yeah.
Hey, I want to do this after the break. So there is weather in the area. We're going to update you on what that looks like coming up here after this break. And then some Florida delegates have some thoughts on the weather. We'll do that as our coverage continues from the Republican National Convention. John Mercure and Dr. Ken Harris with you on 101.7 The Truth and WTMJ.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. We're all living longer. That means in all of our families, people are facing Alzheimer's, dementia, and other memory-related issues. Azura specializes in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms. They're Wisconsin-based, 14 in our state, 4 in our area. I've been in their buildings. They're fantastic. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, empathy and compassion at the core. It's Azura.
One day, a 3.5 to 3.9% real estate commission structure will be commonplace. But for now, it's not the case. So you can pay 6% for what we can do for about half that, or you can pay less for full service. For some, it's hard to believe, but for our customers, they know it to be true. I'm Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, and our agents understand the meaning of great customer service. And you'll see they're the cream of the crop. So don't pay more than you have to. Pay less for full service with Benefit Realty. Benefit-realty.com. The reviews are in, and folks seem to like how we do business. And what's more, they can't get over the level of service and real estate expertise they get for far less than what they'd pay an agent from a big-name company. At 3.5 to 3.9%, you'll save up to nearly 50% in commission by choosing a Benefit Realty full-service agent. Everything they do, we do, for up to 50% less. There's no catch. I'm Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where you pay less for full service. See our success stories at benefit-realty.com.
You're listening to Impact 2024, inside the RNC on WTMJ.
Welcome back to continuing coverage. The Republican National Convention is in our city. It's in Milwaukee. We've got you covered all week long from early in the morning until late at night. Dr. Ken Harris from 101.7 The Truth is here. I'm John Mercure. So glad that you're hanging out. I love to do this because usually you and I are on at the same time. And so it's a special treat when we get to do this together.
Yes, it is.
So I want to recap the weather situation for you because there is some weather in the area. Chief Meteorologist Brian Desnansky telling us that it is definitely going to rain here. It's definitely going to rain hard here. We're all hoping it doesn't turn severe. A tornado watch has been issued and runs until 1 o'clock for Kenosha County, Racine County, and Walworth County. Reports of rotation and maybe more in Evansville. We're keeping an eye on that. Our newsroom is on top of that. We'll let you know of any developments. But that tornado watch goes until 1 a.m. for Kenosha, Racine, and Walworth counties. And that's not the only thing that's going on out there. There is also a severe thunderstorm watch, and that is in effect for Milwaukee County, Waukesha County, and Jefferson County, and goes until 11 p.m. So if you're out and about, please be aware of that and be careful. All right, before the weather gets too serious, we did have a little fun with the weather earlier today. Actually, it was WTMJ's Eric Bilstad who talked to a couple delegates, I think it was, from Florida about our really steamy day to here in Milwaukee today.
What's your name? Where are you from?
I am Michelle Wharton. I'm from Oviedo, Florida.
Have you ever been to Milwaukee before?
No, first time in Wisconsin.
Excellent. So what do you think so far?
I like it. It's hotter than I was expecting. I was trying to get away from the humidity. I was like, there's too much humidity for this not to be Florida.
So I thought I would ask you, like, what do we do about this? You know how to handle this, right?
Well, you kind of get used to it. But I'm like a little disappointed. I didn't get away from it. But no, it's been beautiful.
Yeah.
I've been walking around, feel very safe. So it's been great.
Is this your first convention?
This is my first.
Oh,
yes.
That's
yes.
exciting.
First time as a delegate. First time being here at a convention.
Okay. All right. So do you know all the rules and everything you got to do, where you're going to go, and all that?
Basically, I have a great mentor who's been like showing me the ropes. So yeah, great.
Excellent. Is there anything I can help you with? I'm from Milwaukee. Is there anything I can tell you about, or a place you want to eat?
Where's the best brewery around here?
Oh well, there's a bunch. There's Third Space. There's Molson Coors. There's Sprecher. There's about a million. You cannot go wrong.
Okay, great. I'll try them all.
Welcome to Milwaukee.
All right. Thank you so much.
Man, she asked the right guy about a recommendation for breweries.
Wow, but she says she'll try them all.
She's going to try them all. I hope she's here for a long time. There's only like 30 of them in the city of Milwaukee.
I hope they remember to come get her when she's done. They might forget about her.
Yeah, that's a really good point, too. Somebody might want to pick her up. So right now at the RNC down the street at Fiserv Forum, they're doing one of those things where they played music. They've had live music and speakers throughout the evening, and now they're playing a video. They play these celebratory videos throughout the proceedings the next 4 days. It shows Donald Trump in different business settings and on the road and talking to voters and to Americans and that sort of thing. If you're not working this, are you a guy that takes in the convention? Do you like to go home and put on the TV and watch the 2 or 3 hours in prime time?
Yes. I watch both conventions. I want to hear what they have in common, what they don't have in common, what differentiates them, who the candidates are, and how they interact with each other. In the past, I've looked for some semblance of civility, and today I'm really not seeing that, and that disturbs me.
Yeah, that's definitely lacking. There's no doubt about it. I also like to watch them. I love it. I like to see who the speakers are. Usually some of the old guard that get to speak, like the one in Chicago. Undoubtedly, we will see Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. Right. You get to see the up-and-coming stars. I think it's an interesting point where the Republican Party is today, because the thought of having the guy who was president during 9/11 and is revered by most Republicans and served 2 full terms not be speaking at the convention.
Right.
I mean, George W. Bush is not scheduled to speak at the convention.
At all.
How could George W. Bush not be scheduled to speak at the Republican convention? And the answer to that is 2 words: Donald Trump.
Or some of the folks that you thought you'd have come in who were younger, right? He may not even be on their radar.
And the other thing is, I just blame Donald Trump. George Bush and Paul Ryan and others are choosing not to be here because they don't want to be affiliated.
That's correct.
I mean, to have a Republican National Convention when names from the very recent past that have the highest name recognition will not be here.
From this state.
Yeah, Paul Ryan.
Yeah.
Is not going to be here. He said, if Donald Trump's the nominee, I will not be at the convention, and he reaffirmed that last week, that he will not be here. And even if he decided to be here now, Donald Trump would say, you're not welcome here.
And it's unfortunate because he's doing what he has chastised other people for doing, for not putting aside their differences and their biases and supporting the party. and now he turned around and did the same thing. Him and other talk show hosts that have been here in Milwaukee. It's a little disingenuous, and now I don't know whether you're standing on your laurels, or are you just being a hypocrite?
Well, that's an interesting thing to try to sort out. I mean, he has said, character matters.
Right.
This is a principle.
Right.
I don't care if you have the right viewpoint on Supreme Court justices and taxes and abortion.
Right.
That character matters. And I hear that in my neighborhood, by the way, all the time. Don't you hear that?
I hear it, but the problem with it is that there is now no room for redemption. There's no room for correction, and there's no room for growth. And so one of the issues the African-American community has with the Republican Party is they want perfection or nothing. So if you got bad credit, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Like, who do you know after 9/11?
Yep.
Or after 2008, the crash, who owned a house and didn't have bad credit?
Yep.
For some kind of way. And we're talking millionaires, billionaires, folks making $50,000 a year. It was a tough time. It was a recession.
Yeah.
And so now I guess they've taken a step back and reevaluated the fact that now you can comfortably say that the Republican Party has almost become the Democratic Party 30 years ago.
Glenn Youngkin, the governor of Virginia, is speaking right now at the convention. Interesting side note. He has rented out Mater's for 2 different nights this week. Apparently he really likes German food.
Yes, he does.
He's a rising star in the party. What I want to know is when the governor walks into Mater's, does he get to choose, I want the Sinatra table, or I want to sit where JFK sat? And do they leave the tablecloths off so he can see the nameplate and know that he's sitting where Joe DiMaggio once sat?
Well, I'm debating to tell you a secret I have.
Oh, you got to tell me.
My basement is made out black, white, and red, like a Mater's restaurant.
What?
Yes.
Did you on purpose model it after Mater's?
I bought it that way.
Really?
Yes.
And you left it that way because you like it?
That way. Not because I like it. When your wife tells you, leave it alone, well, you kind of leave it alone. Right?
Yes, then you leave it alone. Doesn't matter what we like.
Now, quietly, I've been, oh, look, how'd that section of the room get carpeting? How'd the lights come
you're
in?
Sneaky, so a piece at a time you've been switching it.
So when she goes into the laundry room and she looks,
that's good.
All she sees is the old neighbor's basement.
That's good.
But I thought it interesting because where I live, it's in a historical district, and many of the homes are those old German homes, those brick.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful and they're strong and they can withstand a hurricane, right? But it's that old Milwaukee home that you remember, growing up, whether growing up in Illinois or Milwaukee, those neighborhood houses that everybody went to,
yes,
that everybody hung out, the big yards, and those are the ways that you should remember, and hopefully these folks visiting from the RNC are going to remember Milwaukee.
You got the Mater's basement. I'm going to remember that. I got to get over there. Maybe have a glass of wine with you.
Yeah, I'm working on quietly diffusing my Mater's influence.
That's hilarious. Your wife better never go out of town without you on vacation. She might come back to a non-Mater's basement.
I tried to send her on a trip to visit my daughter, but it
didn't work.
It didn't fly.
It is 7:42 at WTMJ, continuing coverage from the Republican National Convention after the break.
It's Christmas in July at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. Get sale discounts store-wide all month long. What a great time to shop for all of your Christmas needs. Get your holiday decor and so much more, along with all the great bargains we always have for you. It's Christmas in July at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
The surgeons that I know are good people. They just want to do what they can to help you feel better. And the surgeries they perform can do wonders for their patients. But medicine's a business, and surgery is the big ticket item. And there are surgeries that are absolutely necessary. In almost all cases, a total knee replacement isn't one of them. It's a last resort. So before you opt for a total knee replacement, if you haven't been to Rejuvenex, you may find that we have treatments that can give you the relief you're looking for. They're FDA approved, and they can alleviate pain, in many cases significantly. And insurance could cover a big portion of, if not all of our treatment costs. The osteoarthritic pain you're feeling will only worsen, and that's why you should take action now. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, where we can alleviate your pain and rejuvenate your life.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
The four Gospels tell what Jesus began to do during his earthly ministry. The book of Acts tells what Jesus continued to do through his church and the work of his apostles. Dr. Michael Ziegler and his guests discuss the last two chapters of Acts and St. Paul's harrowing sea journey to Rome, and how God's grace enables us to face challenges with confidence. This week on the Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
You're listening to Impact 2024, inside the RNC on WTMJ.
Fiserv Forum is rocking. The speakers are rolling over there, and they're going to go for another 2+ hours. The severe weather is also potentially headed our direction, and we'll keep you updated on that. There is a tornado watch that is in effect, and it goes until 1 a.m. for Kenosha, Racine, and Walworth counties. There is a severe thunderstorm watch that is in effect for Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Jefferson counties until 11 o'clock. So maybe we aren't as focused on Major League Baseball this week in Milwaukee because the RNC is here, but this just seems kind of weird to me that during prime time, most people this week are going to be checking out the RNC, and Major League Baseball is having their All-Star game the same week.
Who didn't look at the calendar?
Right.
Or who didn't care?
Who's hurt more by this, Major League Baseball or the RNC?
I say Major League Baseball.
Me too, for sure.
Major League. In the dire years they've had the last few years, and they've started to build it up with, like Chris Yelich, and you've started to build up baseball with some young teams and some young talent.
And the game's moving faster.
And those older, medication-taking guys have come and moved on.
That's a nice way to put it.
Illegal, right? And so now you get these great guys, and they're going, and they're 4.5 games out of first place. And we're going to pause during the RNC. Makes no sense.
I mean, the Home Run Derby is it tonight? Isn't it going on right now?
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
And the main deal is tomorrow.
Yeah.
So the All-Star game is tomorrow night in prime time, during the same time as the RNC will be taking place on all the broadcast networks. Who's even carrying it? Like the major.
Very good question.
Watch live on MLB Network. No, that's the main game. All right, Fox.
Right.
So is Fox not carrying convention coverage tomorrow?
Well, that's local Fox, and so you'll get to decide whether or not you're going to follow.
No, but if you're
going to cut away from that game if something happens at the convention.
But
right?
if you're the local affiliate, you're supposed to carry what they offer in prime time. So if this is what they're offering in prime time, they're not offering convention coverage.
Right. Yeah.
How can you be offering this and not the Republican National Convention?
Do they have alternate channels? Like you can turn.
I think in this case what they'll say is their alternate channel will be Fox Network.
Okay.
Like it'll be Fox News Network.
Okay.
If you want to see the convention, you can see that on Fox News Channel.
Call it a day.
Yep, exactly.
Wow.
That just really seems like somebody made a mistake.
Yeah, somebody didn't take a look at what was happening and what was going on, and they thought maybe
Why didn't they do it next week? I mean, then it's between the two conventions. It's before the Olympics, I think. I think next week's kind of like a quiet week before the Olympics and then the Democratic National Convention.
Well, you know, baseball is like football. Their commissions have always had that air that we're greater than everything and everyone because we're America's pastime.
Yeah.
I think they're more so America's time who's passed. And so now we have to look at, well, I might go see baseball. But you just had a presidential candidate and now nominee. There was an assassination attempt. Am I really going to watch baseball? Because just like I asked Greg Gerdmatze earlier when he was on my show, right?
That's funny.
So I'm going to ask you the same thing. You ready?
Ready.
Nothing, Band-Aid, or bandage for the ear?
I think something because he wants people to know that he was hurt.
Okay.
So I don't think the big bandage. I think maybe a Band-Aid. I think something because he wants the picture of, look, someone almost shot my head off.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think we should take a survey. Hey, excuse me, we're having a survey on the air.
And you are the only other people we're asking.
The only other people around. Donald Trump when he shows up, right? Nothing, bandage, or Band-Aid.
What's on the ear?
What's on the ear?
Tonight or whenever he talks for the first time. Okay, so Band-Aid is smaller. You say bandage like something bigger? Well, that's what he's the next thing he's going to be telling us is he lost his whole ear.
Right. And the side of his face is gone. And,
So we got...
Well, Greg Matson
see, now I think the opposite. So she said, but Band-Aid covered in makeup. I think Band-Aid, but he wants people to see it. He definitely wants people to think, look, I almost got my head blown off.
Right.
All right, so we got a bandage, which would be bigger. Tiff is Band-Aid. I'm Band-Aid. You're Band-Aid. You're bandage? You're bandage, too.
Yeah.
You're going big, too?
Bandage. I know that. Well, you get to break the tie.
Yes, you get to break the tie. Julia, here's the question.
Get to break the tie.
When Donald Trump shows up eventually tonight or another night, when it comes to his ear, will he have a bandage, like big, a Band-Aid, or nothing when he makes that first speech?
And we've got two that said Band-Aid and two that said bandage.
I would say a white type of bandage because if it was exposed, like you don't, and it's not as bad. You know what I mean? Like we need it bandaged.
Because people are going to go, what is that? Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah, like we need it looking bandaged. Do you? Okay.
So we definitely all agree that he has to have something because he doesn't want to hide it. He wants people to know.
Perfect. This is a perfect example. Remember when Mayor Barrett was attacked at State Fair?
And he hurt his arm.
And he had his hand all wrapped, and his head was wrapped, and his face was still a little bit bloodied.
Yes.
Yeah. Like he used that to run for governor, even though he lost.
Maybe Donald Trump hasn't even cleaned the blood off his face.
There you go.
He's going to show up with the blood on his face.
I tell some of the younger reporters about the Barrett thing. They're like, what? And then I Google it, and they're like,
crazy.
oh, my gosh.
It was intense.
You got to show the
crazy.
bandage. Yes, the bandage.
I think even if the blood has gone away, he might have somebody draw it back on his face.
Or I've even got the bandage they wiped my face with.
Oh, that would be good.
What is that like? What is that like?
That would be good. He sets it on the podium. Here's the bandage.
Here's my shoes.
Yeah.
My shoes.
If he walked out there and said, can someone get my shoes? Can I get my shoes? Can I get my shoes 3 times? That would be funny.
Yeah.
If that's how he began the speech.
So what did you think?
Band-Aid. But I could see bandage. I think definitely something you can see. It's bandage because you broke the tie.
Definitely not exposed. No way.
Yeah, definitely not where you're trying to hide
because it may be so small that people go,
yeah.
I think he may pick at it before he comes out and have actual real blood again.
Do you want to know something? There was a cameraman, and I helped him. He was bleeding on his arm, and he didn't know it. So I went over there, and I'm like, "Your arm's bleeding."
Today?
Yeah. While they were taking pictures of Marjorie Taylor Greene on the there's AP and everybody running around, and one of the journalists was bleeding, and I'm like, and then he's like, "Oh, thanks."
You didn't get it on that yellow dress, did you?
No.
You are a servant. Seriously, that's you take care of people.
Shepherd that. What do I do with your little sponge I got you?
Yeah, she's got me all. She spends more money on me than my wife spends on me. I had a sore throat earlier this week.
I bought a humidifier.
I had a sore throat earlier this week, and she came in with 4 Walgreens bags. She spent over $100.
So you overdo it? Is that what I'm?
I don't need him dying on me. I need the best of the best.
So some of us might bring in cough drops. Right. She brought me in 100-pack of cough drops, cough syrup, airborne gummies for my immune system, a humidifier. She bought me a brand new huge humidifier
distilled
and brought it into work. And distilled water.
Did you get the medication to put in the humidifier?
If you didn't, you can. I got the one where you can.
Did you buy it?
No, because I don't want to do that.
Then you're slacking. See, you gotta.
No, she spent $100.
Elderberry is the secret.
Those are good, actually.
And then if you had a cough, I got you dulcim.
You got me everything for sure. She's Julia Fellow. Dr. Ken Harris is here. We're going to take one more break, then come back and talk briefly about tomorrow. We'll look ahead to the rest of tonight and tomorrow. It is 7:54.
So he said to me, boy, oh boy, do you got the boulders. And I said, you betcha. And he said, do you mind if I cherry pick? And I said, feel free. They're all beautiful and they're all granite. Sparkling pinks, blues, and grays from 4 to 36 inches. And they're all priced right. Because we buy direct from the source nationwide to give you the look you want. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Well, if you need flagstone for your new natural patio, Erickson's is the place to find it. We have the largest selection in 15 styles to choose from. And for decorative stone, Erickson's is your best choice. Our decorative stone is trucked in from all over the country. We buy straight from the quarry and cut out the middleman to keep your prices nice and low. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
You wake up feeling like you just boxed 12 rounds. Some wake up sweating with sore jaws, headaches, and a lot of our patients complain of brain fog. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and these signs, often joined with snoring, are sleep apnea symptoms. And if this sounds like you may have been in a struggle last night between you and this serious disorder. Many people aren't willing to fight back. But the fact is, you can't go through these nightly struggles without ramifications that each night chip away at your life's expiration date. I get it. You don't want to wear a CPAP mask. You may find out you don't need one. We have every effective sleep apnea solution available. And believe me, the mask is the last resort.
Solving your breathing triangle problem can lead to better sleep and a better quality of life. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
You're listening to Impact 2024, inside the RNC on WTMJ.
I'm John Mercure, Dr. Ken Harris, 1017 The Truth. Good to have you here. We're going to do this every night this week.
Had a great time. I look forward to it.
This is going to be fun. You will be back at 4 o'clock tomorrow on The Truth. I will be on at 3 o'clock on WTMJ. We've got complete coverage from early in the morning to late afternoon on The Truth and on WTMJ. Check out WTMJ.com and the WTMJ mobile app. 1017 The Truth. Check out their website, the Truth app. I have that as well. Check it out.
1017thetruth.com, and we'll have all the information you need about the RNC this week.
And we'll be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Enjoy the rest of the night, everybody.
Good night.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Hey, this is Steve Fitty for Heiser Automotive. I love talking about Heiser. You know that. 5 years driving their great vehicles. Last week was moving week. I dropped off the 2023 Ford Explorer XLT, picked up a